shit.
Hi, it's Chris, and welcome back to the C. That's something else, Amiga. What do we have on the show today? Today we got a big box in from Mr. John in Pullman, Washington. And I got a note separately delivered with a bunch of stuff. It says, Dr. Chris, I have no idea if this will arrive the same day or after my Uncle Ken's Amiga 2000. I realized this after I taped and shipped the box. I neglected to include the descriptions of the items I sent. The wire-wrapped sockets may or may not be of use to you. Do with them what you will. A while back, I watched you make Thanksgiving dinner on your channel, and I know you're a connoisseur of fine victuals.
First things first, where's your shitter?
Please also find in the shipping box a bag of our local lentils with a suggestion on how to use them, as well as a bag of locally produced lentil/chili soup mix. It isn't fried chicken, but it's representative of our area and makes a fine side dish for same. In keeping with the local theme, there's a sticker for you in the box featuring one of our local landmarks. I can only hope you find it worthy of prominent display near your workstations. Again, thank you for keeping the dream alive, Mark. But no description as to what I'm supposed to do. Let me check the old Google machine here. So it says, Hi Chris, I've been following your channel for a while now, and about 6 months ago I began contributing to your Patreon account because I believe in what you do and wanted to show a small token for your dedication to the Amiga community. Thank you. Thank you all. But 4 years ago, my Uncle Ken asked me at Thanksgiving if I still had the Amigas, and if I would like to take his off his hands. I responded in the affirmative, yeah. The next Thanksgiving, I was gifted an Amiga 2000 with a dealer-added second floppy, and some extras, including the old 520 modulator and a bunch of discs, all inside the original 2000 box as delivered from the local retailer. Now, knowing this machine had been put away in storage for 20 years, I opened the box and removed the battery immediately.
They don't like you. I don't like you.
I noticed damage, but I'm not in a position to fix it. Although I did some mitigation to avoid further issues, I didn't turn it on. I put it back in the box for a few years.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And concentrated on my 1200. This year I pulled it out, hoping to use it as a test. Blue scuzzy, blah blah blah. I noticed a lot of blue ick on the board. Tried cleaning the traces. Uh-oh. I was able to clean around the install a button cell battery replacement. Did a 1 meg Agnes mod. It never booted and still doesn't. Black screen. Diagram doesn't boot. Appears to be suffering from multiple issues. My power supply is in working order. I've reached the end of my diagnostic and repairs capabilities, and I have hit the limits of my comfort in moving forward. Oh no. I know the revision 4.3 boards are a bane of your existence.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
And knowing this one has a 4.36 sticker covering the 4.1 silkscreen doesn't make that task any easier. I would appreciate it if you could send the board, if I could send you the board to look over and possibly repair it for a decent candidate in doing so. In the process, if in the process you happen to find a Super Denise to add to it to make it a full ECS, that would be appreciated. I have to buy one. Ultimately, I would like to make it the fastest Amiga 2000 possible using current upgrades. So making sure the CPU slot is fully working is also a concern. Perhaps if it's working, with the addition of an RTG card, my uncle might be interested in once again using his old machine to create new works. But if not, I'll put it to good use. As Tom Petty said, the future is wide open. Help me, Dr. Chris. You're my only hope. That's a long letter, but covers the story. What do we got in here? Okay, so he did say he sent me some lentils. Chapter A, lentil barley soup. Hey, that's great. I'm all down for food and soup. In God we trust. It's some rocks. Oh, lentils. Thought it was gravel. Yummy lentil tacos. Simmer in 5 cups of large water, bring to boil. Add seasoning packet and enjoy. thank you for these lentil barley soups. I will definitely give that a try, and if I remember, I will film it. Here's a box that says items for the 2000. We have some Archer Radio Shack parts. I'll put those to the side. Alright, so it's got a coin cell, E617 Agnes. It's been cleaned. You know, I'm not seeing the death of a normal battery death, but when you guys put these battery posts in, they got antenna here that could talk to Mars. So make sure you cut them down because it makes them stick up a little bit. We're going to do that right now before I forget. Somebody went through that ground plane like it owed them money. Next, I check for what's called board flex. When the 2000s case gets bent and it does this for 25 years, they all have it. It's just a matter of how bad. And what that does is that puts a micro crack across the entire board and it doesn't make it work. I mean, it's not the worst I've seen, but it's not the best either. So 2000s, 500s, they're usually pretty bulletproof with their capacitors. I do like to replace these. These are called decoupling capacitors, and they help with filtering the power rail. And this AT style looking header is your power rail. Rockin' Kickstart 1.3. Well, I'm going to tell you what, this is being removed. I hate 1.3, and no one should be running it in 2025. Now the CPU socket, the CPU's been removed, and the socket is as black as my mother's heart. What do we have in this box? Alright, well never mind. He's got a Kickstart 314 ROM with the adapter, CPU socket, Live2 riser board, and a Raspberry Pi 3A. Why a 3A? Let's see what's on here. Is it a Raspberry Pi? Is it a Pistorm? It's a Pistorm. Okay, so we'll get to this after we hopefully get the machine working. A 322 ROM on this stupid ass board, and this is not for a 2000, by the way. This is only for a 500. Okay, this is useless. So this has to come out, and if you have a Rev 5, you put a wire from pin 1 to 31, and it will work fine. So, but you should be okay. We'll take care of that in a bit. Plus, the pins are all bent up. The home of Charlie Brown water tower. Neat. What did the tape try? Well, we'll stick it there for now. So, Pullman, Washington, thank you for that. Alright. So, first things first is I'm going to pull this 1.3 Kickstart ROM out, because I need to check the socket. Since you don't have a CPU for me to test with at all, the Pistorm is pretty much useless for me on a diagnosis, okay? These are SIL turn pin. I'm not going to use these either, so I'll just return those to you. Turn pins are nice, but they're not, because you have to be exact. There's also a leg bent, or you're screwed. I'm going to put a regular socket in there. This thing is the Amiga kit one. You got to turn one of these Boss or E-clocks on for it to work. Interrupt 2, interrupt 6 mod. So we have the owner's Kickstart 3. We're going to put right here in the chip straightener. We're going to put in diagram because, I mean, she looks clean. I'm going to give her the checkup first. Put diagram in. And let me check her teeth. Oh my god, they're all black and missing. So I'll just put diagram in there and forget about it. We're going to have to leave this CPU up here. And it is currently 9:10 at night. And in case this hat makes you weird, it does say make Amiga great again. Thank you. So grab your sack and twist it. It's okay. It's just a funny hat. It doesn't affect your life in any way. The acids have ate up into it, and I need to check lines anyway. Let's add some solder. I'm adding solder to the CPU. Ouch. Hang my hand. Can you see this? Nope. I'm trying to do this sideways. Adding solder to the CPU so this leaded crap mixes in with the modern stuff and makes it more meltable. Alright, it's getting late and I'm running out of power, so time to power up. Here's the chocolate. the best chocolate on earth. If you haven't tried this, Amazon this. Coca-Cola. Pains de chocolat. It's chocolate. Doesn't have Pervitin in it, but it's like 1 piece is 2 Red Bull. Okay, so we're ready. I'm just going to solder suck this out. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. You've seen it before, but we'll just stick this on here. Count to 3. Pull the trigger. Let her eat. Great solder sucker. Depending on the acid damage is the level of suction you're going to have to give her. I'm looking at the viewfinder while doing this, so it looks like the thing's crooked, but it's not. Oh, what the hell's going on? Okay, so we're done. Listen to this suction. That could suck a golf ball through a garden hose. Let me turn this off and let this cool down a little bit. Found the cleaning rods I was looking for. They were underneath the other soldering iron. Finger it a little bit, rub it, and we should be able to just pop this out. Socket is extremely dark. You can see the blackness here on the other side and here on the one side. That goes in the trash. Let's take a look at our socket before we go and touch it. Now, you've seen this on this channel 1,000 times. All of our girls, usually 1 through 12, 64 through 60 is what I focus on. Your battery's right here, it kaputs all over this, and everything gets crapped out. These little dots over here, these are your basically your ROM line, your address lines. A lot of these go up to Agnes, they go to the ROM, they go to the RAM controllers, and various other points. Hooper's Hooch is 99.9% alcohol, and that's the legend there himself, Mr. Chris Hooper. Him and Stefan, their brains are like rocket scientists. So, incredible team there. Oh yeah, we're gonna wipe her butthole here. We're gonna get a little dookie, okay? Wipe her butthole. Oh, green and slime and yuck. That's nice. You can see up here, these are cleaning up, but down here, darkness imprisoning me. All that I see, absolute horror. What's this side? What's 1 through 12 look like? Like a bad run from Taco Bell. Alright, so after you alcohol something off and you're not getting anywhere with it, grab yourself some Windex. Windex has ammonia in it. Ammonia? Isn't that an acid? You're darn tootin'. But it does a really good job of pulling shit out of the holes. Watch. It's gonna foam up and be crappy, but look, oh look, it's pulling it right out. Flip her around to the other side. It's like turning your underwear inside out. You get another day out of them. It's going to leak through these holes, and it's going to be under her dress here. Yep, and it's going to look gross. You're going to be like, uh-oh, somebody pooped on the floor. Yes, these are fiberglass pens. I get them on the old Amazon store in the arts and crafts section. So you just take these while they're wet, kind of go over these pins that you can't see. Just kind of go over them while it's wet. Fiberglass pen is a self-destructive, mild abrasive. Now this side up here is the battery side. Just gonna do this. It just to refresh the holes. It's soaked with alcohol, so we're not removing any solder mass, but we are cleaning up all of the rings, vias. So these buttons here at the very bottom are your layers. Now, since I have every one of them turned on, I'm going to select the silk screen top, and then I'm going to put a slash through this copper bottom and silk screen bottom. But what that allows me to do is when I zoom out here, I'm not seeing the green from the bottom, okay? I'm only seeing the top, so it looks more like the motherboard. And what you got to do, if you've never used Sprint Layout, is you can click the word test over here on the left, or the letter X, and you click on a trace. Now as I zoom in here, I wish I could change this. If you know how to change this color to like bright yellow, let me know. You're going to get a hot pink line of blinking blink. What that means is it's time for you to grab your favorite continuity tester multimeter. Doesn't have to be true RMS, it just has to do continuity. That means it makes a noise when you touch your dudes together. What you want to do is put one in this hole, and then your next hop, which is RP900, and check it for beep. And guess what we don't have? No beepy. But now I'm going to do RP900 to this dot, just to see if I got it. I do not. It could be crusty. The resistor pack's going to have to come out because all the rings are going underneath. Okay, so I have to remove something else, the resistor pack right here, because it's all ate up under here because of that bitch.
Shit.
In my documentation, now this is my own brain, you do you. We're going to go to my documents, we're going to go to the Amiga 2000, and we're going to find, oops, my documents, we're going to find a 68,000 pinout. It looks like this. Now I'm going to print said printout on my Epson printer. Something that you'll remember front, back. I usually do the notch, it's fine. Then, my ass gets green Sharpie and a red Sharpie. And green is good, red is bad. You can even write yourself a T if you want to. So just because RP900 is dead, we still got to trace it across the side to the buffers, right? The flip-flops on the Zorro. So this goes to U603, so pin 64 goes to U603, pin 4. I have that. And all that is me doing the same thing as the screen, 64 to that pin over here on the buffer, U604. You're thinking, Chris, this is a Rev 6 board. This is a 4.3. The only difference are these 32 girls that I don't like to party with. The flip-flops for the RAM on a Rev 6 are all up here this way. They just turned them here. They're 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all right here. 103, 104, and the girls up here. And the two RAM 540, 541 are here. The resistor pack houses via rings, right? A circle, and has a line going in and a line or two going out. The battery acid eats like a portion of that copper, and you might have a line in, but the circle isn't making contact. So you either have to wire it when the resistor pack goes in, I thank you, and reform that bond, and then you'll have a constant connection where you could have continuity and the circuit would go through.
You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
This process takes me about 2.5 hours, and sometimes I split it up. It's important to don't be in a hurry. Don't think that you're going to get this fixed immediately. I mean, you might, but I've done hundreds of these, and I've learned just to take my time, because if I work late and if I work too much on these, I get like a tunnel vision, and then I have mistakes. Ouch. I make mistakes, or I write something down wrong, or my ADHD, obesity kicks in, and you just don't want to make a mistake. Take your time. I treat all of these as if they were my own, so you're in good hands with Allstate. In the silver of cleaned and the blackness of my mom, I can tell you right now, I see several broken rings, and that is a commonly overlooked mofo on the 2000 when you're doing a CPU repair. I have 788 Amiga repairs, guys. 700, so I'm looking in my Gmail here, and I have 788 requests for repairs. Good God. So it takes me a little bit to answer you. Please keep in mind that I try to do them in order, but I'm so backlogged with answering requests. It's we're going to be busy for years, and that's a good thing. Whoops. You'll notice here the resistor pack is now cleaner. Right here on the bottom of this dude, there's a busted half ring. That's probably why this pin for 64, when it went across and then over to the resistor pack. The resistor pack also goes to these dots here. You see these dots? Well, they're supposed to look like this one up here. See how they're nice and filled? These are all pitted and rotted through. So much so I can just take this and poke through them. So we're going to have to evacuate, refill these, because they form this dust of crap. See how these are all full of holes now? You can physically see like half of a ring on some, broken little piece of a ring here is a tip of the ring missing. There's a ring missing. I don't know here. Missing a hole. That may be broken. That's just hollow, which is fine. And I'll have to continue the pin out in the morning because it's now 10:10 at night. 7:51 a.m. on the old Omnibot clock, and I have spent the last hour or so pinning out pins. 64 and pin 1, believe it or not, on RP 900. Rings are shot on one side, rings are busted on the holes like I shown last night. I have battery. Right there, those guys, you can see come on Sony I, cut it out. I've scratched them out. One of them is literally a little tiny dude right there. The other one is a slice on the resistor pack side, and so I have this is busted right here, and this pin right here is broken on the ring right here. It's like a microscopic slice where you see that little trace popping out. Pew. I'm about halfway around the CPU. Everything else is checking out. Board flex has been minimized a little bit by leaving it sit on a flat surface. Probably got to put the socket in and wire it up. I did get some new 34 gauge strings of hair from Remington. That's the solder through crap. And if you need a little bit more girth, I got the Remington 24 gauge. That's the solder. You just put the soldering iron on there, it melts the coating off, or you can scratch it. So this is my last 68,000 socket. It's called a Cambion, and it's a 68,000 pin depressed, and it has Captain tape on the bottom so you don't overfill it. They're the best sockets. Cambion isn't made anymore, which sucks, but it gives a nice snap for the 68,000. Maneuvers.
Shit.
Oh no. Oh no. I just broke all the glass. I just broke all the glass holders for my solder sucker. Great. The one in the gun. Thank God. That's why, ladies, you gotta clean up your mess. You're reaching over something. Now I got glass all over the floor. Ogre camping fan. You know, I still have not charged this. Okay, now before I go gung-ho, we're gonna test that one. Wires are soldered in. Can you see them? Right there and right there. Got it. COM4 large font. That's my USB to serial. I'm going to move J300 to the right because I'm an external power supply, and that'll make the tick signal get from the line or the video instead of it doesn't exist through the power supply. Here we go. Oh, I also hooked up my hard drive light because the blue light of power is to death. Low. High. Diagram, baby. Woohoo! Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sweet. Alright, there we go. I got mouse. We got diagramming. 68010, 1 mega chip because that's mine. Alright, system info. Left click works. Any stuck keys at boot? Nope. Sweet. Audio. Gotta do audio. Forgot about audio. So this is a Rev 4 board with a red audio connector. Mine's black for red, or right. This one is right red. Alright, let me unplug the power so it doesn't whine. Let's do audio test. Oops. 3.5 inch. There we go. Audio strong. Let's do the CIA test. We'll do IRQs. There should be nothing, and 7 will always bork if I have anything on it. Cool. Our CIAs. Hopefully my tick signal is okay. This is NTSC on a PAL ROM. NTSC will fail, but it should be okay. There we go. That's my Jumper 300 right there. Or, I'm sorry, yeah, J300. If you move that to the left, that'll fail. Our CIAs are good. Graphic test. Perfect. Perfect. I don't know if this one works. Oh yeah, it does. Sometimes I don't have this picture on machines. Raster and RGB. Perfect. And we're just going to do parallel port. Okie dokie. Working. You can see it blasting through the cursors over here. Alright, so one more test to do is the memory test. 1 meg of chip. This will test up to 2. But we'll, on a revision 4 board, for me at least, they always get to 1023, not 1024, and then say there's some error. There's not. It's this board, I've said it before, or this revision 4 with diagram. Maybe it's the other diagram, I forget. One of them goes to 1023 and then goes something error and reboots. It'll error out and return me to the menu. See? Address error detected. Every single Rev 4 does that. But she lives. Take a photo for the owner. And now that's step 1. So first off, 333 Amigas have been saved. Or is it 334? I forget. I think the 500s were 333. Yes. The 500 hard drive was 333. This is 334. I never updated the Voom. Never updated any totals. Kickstart 3.2.2 for the CDTV in. And what I hate about this, whoever these selling these things, they're selling 42-pin ROMs and breaking the ROM off. Does this mean they always work? Most of the time. This is Kickstart 3.2.2. Low, high. We have no floppy drive, so it's going to search for a second, and then we should get a Kickstart screen. Bingo. And now he wants to do a Pistorm. A Pistorm on a CPU card. So with that working, we have to figure out this stuff. So number 1, return your adapter. Number 2, this thing. I did not build your Pistorm. I don't know anything about your Pistorm. There's an SD card in here and you want to run it on a riser. So we're going to take an Amiga kit thing with no heat sink on it. You're going to need a heat sink on there. And we have to put this in this. It's all SIL turn pin with a bent pin, which just makes life that much better. We should see something on the right monitor. Stuck in low. So there's no lights on the Raspberry Pi. Under voltage detected. So let's just pause our roll for a second just to compare. That was me turning the Amiga off. Now this is a 02W. Don't worry about that. That's RTG. This cable is just flaky as all get out because it's in some crazy adapter. See? I'm 308 times faster. This is some 02W. So you don't need a big 3A. And you can run it right in your slot. You don't have to have this doofy thing. Leave this run. It's currently 932. This is my Pistorm. So I'm going to put the owner's Pistorm in. I just saw a kick over. So this Amiga kit branded Pistorm, look at that, they set up their own OS. OS install, Lehman Computing. Thank you for supporting Amiga kit. Select your operating system. There's the Pi booting on the right. Under voltage detected. Requires a license to be installed on sys. Well, he bought Kickstart 3.2.2. Let's see. 2? What is going on? Under voltage detected. 3, 3.5, 3.9, and that's it. So, again, this Amiga kit branded Pistorm card weird thing with an image of, I don't know, locks the floppy drive up solid. Then it goes out when the virtualized CPU comes on. Then the HDMI comes on, bitches it's undervolted, and then it works. Amiga kit, and you get some things. So new decoupling capacitors are on. I didn't want to bore you with it, but there they are. EMU68 Imager. Quick and dirty install instructions. Double click on that folder. Select a custom Kickstart folder. Select install media folder. I shouldn't be doing this. The owner can do this. Let's just see what it does. It's doing something to the card. It's putting EMU68 on it in 3.2. This is like a full turnkey MOF. I'm gonna have to redo mine because it does RTG, it does everything for you. WHD load. The tool is completed. You can close the terminal window. It's freaking great. Alright, let's see what it does. There you go. There's Workbench. Turn the damn backdrop off. Snapshot off. In crappy color. It's not an H. 360 megs of RAM. 800. Okay, Workbench is system. Zorro works. I got another card. Apparently that SCSI card ID card's bad. I don't know why. I just used it 15 years ago. Okay, so after last night and several hours today pinning out the CPU socket, I did some more digging and I found out that this board is incompatible with the revision 4. That's why Amiga Kit made that board with the little green, or the little jumpers. It's called CLK and Boss. Well, if you want it to boss on here, number one, I built it so it doesn't need a Kickstart ROM. You can have the Kickstart ROM in there, but if you do, it's going to cause some weirdness because the Amiga is going to yellow screen like this, maybe. My cable's been really acting up. I found a big bend and break right here, so I touch it, and it kind of works for a second, as long as I don't bother it. Yellow screen, okay? Now watch. Pull the Kickstart ROM out and the 68,000. It's all in the Pistorm. So you get a yellow screen, and then when the Pistorm loads, you get this. Ta-da! No Kickstart, no CPU needed. Emailed the owner. If I touch this cable, it's going to shit out. I'm going to try not to touch it. I'm going to try to get my mouse hooked up. So there we go. A nice 16 color Amiga Workbench interlaced. Now I'm not going to leave it interlaced because I don't know what the owner's thing is in. Alright, so the peripherals in the last video or a couple videos ago, I don't know what order they're in, were 333 or 332 and 333. Amigas and stuff has been saved. So this makes it 334 Amigas have been saved with your help. If you'd like to continue to help me save these things, please consider joining my Patreon. It's $1 a month. It helps me afford tools and parts and things that I need and chips and stuff to help keep these on the road. Capacitors and utilities and parts and stuff. And I greatly appreciate it. Hope this finds you well, and if you have a Revision 4 Pistorm and an Amiga Kit board, remember to tickle those two things down. Remove your Kickstart ROM. You don't need it. Especially if you're running the new EMU68 builder. Kind of neat utility. Those guys do a great job. That's all I got for now. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something.
Remember these words. Make Amiga great again. Please help Dr. Chris continue his fight for as little as $1 a month. Or more. Thank you and Godspeed.
What do you know from funny, you bastard?